When you first think of a Guy Ritchie movie, you probably think of foul-mouthed English gangsters, kinetic editing, and an array of quips thrown around simultaneously with all the carnage. Yes, Ritchie has branched out before, such was the case with the live-action Aladdin remake or the grounded military drama The Covenant. Regardless, he has still always felt most comfortable making movies like The Gentleman and Snatch. Heck, even his bigger budget vehicles, such as Sherlock Holmes and The Man from UNCLE, have the filmmaker maintaining much of his trademark style. Fountain of Youth, which interestingly marks Ritchie's first movie made for streaming, after recently flirting with television directing, finds Ritchie showing a different side of himself. While at its core, this is a heist movie, following a ragtag crew of thieves, there's something about Fountain of Youth that's less nihilistic and more hopeful. Apple's filmography of would-be blockbusters has ranged from surprisingly decent to forgettable schlock. For all of its faults, and there are quite a few, Fountain of Youth feels like an actual movie, the kind of non-IP star-studded adventure film that we've been clamoring for more of. Fountain of Youth is a throwback to the adventure films of yesteryear. Ever since the death of their father, Luke and Charlotte Perdue have become estranged. Luke has become like a 21st-century Indiana Jones, trotting the globe and collecting artifacts alongside a charismatic crew and flirting with beautiful but mysterious women, including the cunning femme fatale Esme. Charlotte's life is filled with a bit less adventure, while she does get to work a dream job by honoring her father as a curator for a prestigious art gallery. She is in the midst of a brutal divorce and could potentially lose custody of her son Thomas, a musical prodigy. After being approached by dying billionaire Owen Carver, Luke recruits his reluctant sister to join him and his team, also consisting of Patrick Murphy and Deb McCall, on a perilous quest to locate the mythical Fountain of Youth, which has the potential to save Owen's life. Throughout their quest, the team finds themselves being pursued by an array of opposing forces, including Esme and Interpol agent Jamal Abbas. At its core, Fountain of Youth plays like an old-school adventure movie, one that, despite taking place in the present day, wants to present itself as timeless. Whether it actually succeeds at that feat is debatable, as there is still an ever-present digital look to it all. Thanks to a talented and experienced filmmaker like Ritchie at the helm, Fountain of Youth manages to still be an entertaining summer ride, one that proudly wears its heart on its sleeve. Eiza, González and Arian Moayed are the biggest standouts in Fountain of Youth. Krasinski and Portman are two performers who are typically reliable, especially Portman, who I'd still argue is one of the best actresses working right now. Unfortunately, while the two try their best with their roles, they're ultimately miscast, as if their roles were originally written for another pairing. Krasinski ramps up the jokey adventurer shtick, making his grown-up Goonie have more in common with Jim Halpert than Jack Ryan. While he has proven himself in both comedic and action roles, Luke Perdue feels like a role that was written with someone like a Bradley Cooper or a Chris Pratt in mind. Portman, in the meantime, is given some shaky dialogue to deliver, as Charlotte constantly questions the motives of both her brother and Owen, while also lamenting her divorce. This could have worked, but James Vanderbilt's script never fully fleshes out Charlotte's family life. We learn so little about Thomas, besides the fact that he's musically gifted and he idolizes his uncle Luke. While Chivers does a solid job in the role, the character doesn't add anything until the very end of the movie. The movie's biggest standouts are González and Moayed, who bring more personality to their supporting characters than even the leads. Both Esme and Abbas seem like they were lifted directly out of an adventure movie from the 70s, playing characters with larger-than-life personalities that fit perfectly within the narrative. They don't necessarily feel like real people, but that's not the point, and out of the entire cast, González and Moayed are the only ones who seem to fully understand the kind of movie that they're in and just have fun playing around as their morally gray characters. Fountain of Youth isn't an adventure movie classic, but that's okay. We don't get as many adventure movies like Fountain of Youth anymore, unless they're attached to a pre-established IP or part of a big franchise. It's undoubtedly clear that Ritchie wants to replicate the charm and the spirit of the Brendan Fraser-led Mummy films, but it settles on being something more akin to Dwayne Johnson's Jungle Cruise, which ironically co-starred Krasinski's wife Emily Blunt. For some, that may sound like an insult, but it isn't meant to be one. The 2021 Disney movie offered enough exotic locales and elaborate set pieces that made it satisfying but forgettable, and you will get the exact same feeling while watching Fountain of Youth. There are a handful of scenes where we do see Ritchie's personality shine through, including a car chase through the streets of London in the film's first act, which has the quick editing that keeps the excitement going. Other times, Ritchie seems to have restrained himself, and he didn't really need to either, including a fairly anticlimactic third act reveal that's telegraphed from a mile away. The thing is, Fountain of Youth could have easily been just another bad movie made for streaming, and the fact that it isn't is an accomplishment in of itself. It's a perfectly watchable movie designed to keep you entertained for 2 hours on a rainy Sunday afternoon. Fountain of Youth premieres May 23 on Apple TV+.